Okay, blow and grows. I need some people.
I got one.
I'll do it. I'll take one.
Mikey, I need you to do one.
I can't. I'm gonna take one forever.
Josh,
Oh, yay.
will you do one, please?
Okay. Agent, stop that. Is that for one shot or not? Agent, can you play what? You? Yeah.
Chelsea, will you do one for Thomas, please? And Nicole.
Hey, Nick. Okay.
Gentlemen, it's not your
A black
presentation
hole.
yet, so we'll put it over. Alright, audience. Audience, you need to have something to do in between presenters. Okay. We need to show Thomas our respect and put our stuff at least down for now.
Turn lights off.
Okay, so my name is Thomas Famoni, in case you forgot. So I chose tuberculosis for my road project. My goal by the end of my presentation is for you to know more than you knew before you walked into class today. Did you know that 1/3, which is about 2 billion people, already have tuberculosis? This is what tuberculosis cells looks like. During my interview, I got to look through a microscope and see this, but I would have shown it to the class, but I don't want any of you to get tuberculosis and the microscope would be too expensive. So, this is what it looks like, and I was fortunate, so I got to look through a microscope and do it. Okay, so what is tuberculosis? Tuberculosis is an infectious disease that is caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. An infectious disease is a disease that is spread from one person to another, or it is caused by it is also caused by viruses, fungi, parasites, or bacteria. In this case, tuberculosis is caused by bacteria, so that's why tuberculosis is an infectious disease. Okay, so this is how tuberculosis spreads from one person to another. TB is another word for tuberculosis. It stands for. So the person on the left-hand side is coughing, and the bacteria in his cough, the person on your right-hand side is breathing it in, and the bacteria will go to his lungs and infect it. Okay, so why is TB gaining attention or tuberculosis gaining attention? So HIV gave tuberculosis a big boost. In other words, it just made it more popular. So HIV stands for Human Immune Deficiency Virus. So what it does to the body is it's a virus that attacks your cells so it attacks your cells that attacks the disease. So it's basically 3 separate armies. So you have one army, which is your cells that attacks the disease, and the disease is one army, and HIV is another. So what HIV does is it's a virus. So it goes when you have it, it attacks your army. So then the disease knows that you had HIV. So then the disease comes in, and so it's like double teaming you. So you get tuberculosis. Well, not specifically tuberculosis, but you can get any disease if you have the HIV. So that's basically what HIV is. So how does tuberculosis affect your lungs, and is it fatal? So when tuberculosis enters the lungs, it can multiply quite rapidly and cause local chest pain. So what it does to your lungs is it blocks it from functioning, or whatever. it can affect any part of the body, but it's rare to affect any part of the body except for the lungs. And so what it does to your lungs is it stops it from functioning, or whichever part of the body it affects, and it stops it from doing its job for the body to live. So the side effects are spitting up sputum/blood, and it's fatal depending on which one you have. So whether you get medicine or treatment quick enough. So can tuberculosis affect animals? Yes, tuberculosis can affect animals. And if you have any question, if you ask, can it only affect specific animals? It can affect all types of animals. So is tuberculosis similar to any other disease? So tuberculosis is most similar to pneumonia, and because they both affect the lungs and they are both caused by a bacteria. And then, as I explained a couple slides ago, if they're caused by bacteria, then they're both infectious diseases. Okay, so is tuberculosis a rare disease? Tuberculosis is not a rare disease because of HIV. I told you what HIV is in like a couple slides ago. So as you can see, the chart is racing because of HIV. This is the 2011, and it's mostly in Africa. Tuberculosis, it's mostly caused in Africa, and it's not. So my dad, he works at a hospital, and when he came from Fiji, he was born and raised in Fiji. So when he starts his job, which he works in a hospital, he has to get TB tested. So I'll show you a video of how to get TB tested after my prop one is done. So what is the worst type of tuberculosis? So the worst kind is XDR because there are no antibiotics or medicine to get rid of it. And XDR stands for extreme drug-resistant tuberculosis. So if you have XDR tuberculosis, is for sure you're gonna die. So that's why I said it's fatal depending on which type. What are some of the types of tuberculosis? So I'm pretty sure you guys can read, so I'm just gonna read two of them, and then you guys, yeah. So internal tuberculosis and osteal tuberculosis, and that's and etc. I'll give you guys 10 seconds to read. Many thanks for my ropes to Christina Murphy, the person that I interviewed. I looked through a microscope, and then she works at Hygienics Incorporated. She's a research scientist on tuberculosis in Palo Alto, California. And my dad and my family for bringing a critique, and my dad for helping me like find the pictures and help telling me how to like change the PowerPoint background. And lifescript.com, they gave me a lot of information on tuberculosis and a lot of World Health Organization websites. Thanks for watching. Mr. Troll, can I go on YouTube on this?
Pretty neat video, right?
What do you mean by that?
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it. The bottom. Oh, that one.
Is this sound plugged in?
Where do you have the volume plugged in?
Why did it say it's on?
So this is how to do it if any of you guys can become a doctor in the future and take TB and do TB screen tests, or if you guys are doing TB in the future.
Nurses at Algoa Public Health have been administering TB skin tests for decades. Here is a friendly review of proper administration of TB skin tests. The TB protocol from the Ontario Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care states that the client must be tested on the volar surface of the forearm 4 inches below the bend of the elbow. Be sure that the bevel of the needle is facing upward and inserted at a 15-degree angle. To ensure the test was done accurately, look for a bleb or wheal that is present under the skin. It should be approximately 6 to 10 millimeters in diameter when the medication is injected. If a bleb or wheal is not present, repeat the test at least 5 centimeters away from the first site. When the client returns for their TB reading 48 to 72 hours later, inspect the skin under good lighting and palpate for induration. When assessing the size of the reaction, be sure to measure the induration, not the redness. The diameter of the induration should be measured across the forearm, perpendicular to the axis. Induration is measured by using the tip of a ballpoint pen at a 45-degree angle toward the site of injection. The tip of the pen will stop at the edge of the induration. Measure and document the size of induration in millimeters. If the induration is 10 millimeters or greater, then it is considered to be a positive result in most healthy individuals. Please call Algoma Public Health to report any positive TB skin tests.